Hi, ma'am. Am I visible to you?
Hi.
Hi, am I visible to you?
No, you're not. There's a blank screen on top.
There's a blank screen. Let me try again. Can you see me now?
No.
Shivani, Shivani and Keshav, guys who are here right now, can you please help me? Can you please tell me if you guys can see me right now? Can you please put it down in the comments? Oh, that's great. Awesome. Ma'am, Shivani here is saying that she can see us.
Okay, cool, cool.
I think we'll have to proceed like that. I was just telling them about our journey, like how I got connected to you just before we started.
Okay.
In summary, basically, ma'am had helped me a lot. Thank you so much, Kesha. Ma'am had helped me a lot through my career questions, and I'm a fifth year law student. I'm not able to decide right now what am I supposed to do after college, what am I supposed to do in my career forward. So, ma'am had really helped me a lot, in figuring out what am I supposed to do, how am I supposed to maybe take forward my career. Not just giving me answers to my questions, basically, but she also helped me figure out what I am really about, what I would really enjoy as a person. We're not pitching anything here. I'm just trying to help you guys out with your mental health journey. And so, before we can start, and before ma'am can take over, I would like to tell you a few things about ma'am. So we have here Miss Amrita Upadhyay ma'am. She is an emotional wellness and self-empowerment coach. She's an author. She's a leadership development consultant. She has 22 years of professional work and consulting experience in about 10 industries. Imagine. Her key focus areas are assessment development. She has got these centers and emotional and leadership wellness. So these are two of her key focus areas. And also, very exciting, she has also authored an award-winning book called The Secret Gifts from the Perfect Storm, and is also partnering with NGOs to empower the youth. So these are pretty exciting things, ma'am, that you've been doing and are in the works right now. Can you tell us more about yourself? We have five people here with us right now, so maybe you can tell more about yourself.
Thank you, all the five people here, for joining and taking your time out. I think Muskan has pretty much summed up about all my work. One area I just wanted to mention, this, since we're talking about this today, is that empowering people, and especially uh, shaking them and telling them that uh, the misconception of thinking positive. Don't think negative, think positive. That's such a
Mhm.
toxic positive culture that
Mhm.
shook me up in 2019. I lost someone very dear. 2020, I lost someone very dear.
Mhm.
And even during the pandemic, we used to hear so many of these things. So that kind of made me so angry. With that kind of passion, I actually wrote that book called Secret Gifts from the Perfect Storm. And
Mhm.
my aim is it can reach as many as people as possible. I'll be really grateful. The concept behind that book is it's written like a story and not like a theoretical psychological book, but it is a self-help book to tell people that it's okay to sometimes feel broken. It's okay to ask for help, and there's nothing called, whatever is there inside, there's some message coming out of it. Negative feelings bolte hai na, like whatever it is, there's a message. Our body is so wise, it is trying to tell us something. When we look at it, we get beautiful insights, and that is what we do in therapies. By the way, it's not rocket science. The only thing is, in therapy, we've been taught to just hold you and really come bring the best and be unbiased, because we don't have any, undue objective behind this. So we are not connected to you in personal way. So we are very unbiased, and we are taught the skill of holding you without bias. And we just hold you there and make things come out, and you'll be amazed at how wise our body is. And that's the whole thing. The book is that it's okay to process. It's very important to bring things out, and what feels like shit is actually what feels like demon. So many of my
Mhm.
patients who are anxiety attacks, stress attacks, they get phobic attacks, and
Mhm.
then they think it's a demon. They have made it a demon. But actually, when they bring it out and they talk to it, they realize, oh, it's something that's been trying to help me, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that
Exactly.
is what is very important, Muskan. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's something that I wanted to add in
I
here.
I
So when
love
Muskan
ma'am that.
offered me, so when Muskan offered me this session, I was like, yeah, of course I will. Yeah.
Right. Ma'am, I love it that you have named the book, you have Storm in the name of the book because actually I think when you say demons, I think some people might relate to them having a demon, maybe other people might not. But the word storm exactly replicates and, exactly embodies the type of feelings that we go through or the type of situations that we go through as you called it in your book, stormy situations, right? So these situations that you go through, this is something which is very, everybody can relate to. So it's pretty accurate to the point, to this point. Maybe we can start the session. We have 7 people with us, 8 people with us right now.
Hi.
Welcome all of you. All right. So maybe we can start maybe with the questions that I prepared for you. So as a law student, I was just telling them I'm in my 5th year, and one senior very recently he told me that अगर तुम्हारी life में stress नहीं है, if you don't have stress in your life, then that means you're not doing well or you're not doing
Mm.
enough. So this is something that goes in our industry a lot. I am sure because you've worked in a lot of industries and with a lot, I mean, with a lot of people in different industries, you would exactly know what what people go through. So is there a difference maybe between stress, maybe a normal type of stress that is okay to have? That maybe he was talking about, or maybe there's abnormal and normal stress. So maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Muskan, for bringing this issue up. So what your friend, with a good intent, he was partially right. I wouldn't say he was wrong completely.
Mm,
Stress is important. Challenges, I would say challenges are important in life. अगर challenge नहीं है तो we will not grow, we will not survive,
mm,
right? Like for example, one of my clients who was, working through me, and in one of the situations, she was like, I was going through in a cab, and Ola and Uber, and the driver she doesn't know, and it turned out to be a road which was very lonely, and adrenaline
mm,
kicked in, cortisol kicked in, and she started feeling worried and anxious. But I had taught her how to handle it, and she was like, okay, what do I do about it? My body's telling me something, and body wisdom is very important. You listen to your body. Your palms, when you give presentations, your palms will start sweating. Your
mm.
body's giving you information. It's just that we've been taught not to listen to it. Either we are
You
scared or we've been
call it
told,
body wisdom?
yes, body wisdom.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, when I say body wisdom, I mean listen to emotion sometimes. First the
Mm,
feeling comes, right? First the physical
mm,
sensation happens. Sometimes it happens together. Listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings, listen to any sensation that comes, because that's the first message. That's the uncorrupt message.
mm,
And then we try reasoning, rationalizing, and using our head and try to create our own system of belief.
mm,
So what she did is she's listened to it and she said, "Oh, what do I do?" Because obviously there's some message, and she realized that yes, there's something that's bothering me, and I think it's a valid bother. It's okay to be aware, be on guard. That's how we survive.
mm.
It's a survival mechanism, right?
Absolutely.
So she ensured that she made a call, she did a WhatsApp conversation, and she passed on her location ID to people and stuff like that. So in many ways, when the driver knew that she's what she's doing, and everybody is aware and all that stuff,
Mm,
right? So
mhm,
just an example to tell you that your friend, in a way, he was right. Yet at the same time, what happens is we start making it as a norm in life. Like, it's okay. And we try to, say it's okay. Well, the warning is not okay. You need to listen to the warning and not put it on the carpet, right? So
right.
that sometimes is the unintended message that goes in that, is that stress low. But stress is something that is a word many times misused, right? For example,
Mm,
let's say, you go to the college exams, okay? Or discomfort of having to get up early morning because you want to study, or you have to go to work, or you go to school, or you're preparing for a presentation, attending your first day in college. How many of you recognize that, right? So all of them are important, and if you listen to it, you will do the best, right? If you
mm,
don't listen to it, you will not. So your friend was right from that perspective, and so change is important. And the positive thing that about stress is like Erickson's 8 stages. If you just Google it, you will get it.
Mm-hmm.
Every stage in life, it's called psychosocial crisis in life,
Mm-hmm.
gets unfolded. As a small child, it learns to adapt. As an adolescence, you learn to adapt. At teens, there are some challenges that comes. As young adults growing out, going into the world that you guys are now into, some challenges come. As parents,
Absolutely.
some challenges come. If we start learning to handle these challenges properly, then we develop appropriately. If we do not, then there is a stuckness that happens and all the later issues that comes,
Right.
and the stress gets stuck there. You need to process it and to work that out and let it work that out. And that is very important, right?
Right.
Yet what happens?
To just sorry,
Yeah,
ma'am. Just to address a few people here who have joined right now. Guys, if you have any questions, we have ma'am right now.
yeah.
She has 22 years of experience in providing emotional and wellness coaching. So maybe if you have any questions, your personal questions, you can drop them down in the comments, or you can request to join, and maybe we can help you with the maybe she can help you with the questions, and I can help you give you this platform to help you with the questions.
Would love to.
So if you have any questions,
Yeah.
if you want to discuss anything, you can just join in and feel free to drop in your comments, your views on this. And ma'am, since we're talking about stress, can we just shift the conversation to stress about career and
Yeah.
normal and abnormal stress about career?
Yeah. So I just talked to you about the normalcy about the stress and why it's
Mhm.
important to analyze, right?
Right.
At the same time, Muskan, when somebody is doing some questioning, just read it out because I will not be observing their comments. Yeah. So in
Sure.
case there somebody has questions, let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
So we just spoke about that. But what happens? When does it become abnormal? I would say when does it become problematic? Instead of saying the word abnormal, when does it become problematic? Is when we confuse real fear with imaginative or blown out proportion. Like I give the example of the lady traveling in the cab. It was to some extent real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet it could have been unreal or blown out of proportion. Say, oh, this guy's going to do something, and it can get into a panic attack,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where our patterns and beliefs and our stuck, earlier stuckness that's coming out like a volcano now happens, right? So what's problematic is when you keep piling up your stress. You now have
Mm-hmm.
normalized it so much that you have not worked on your stress and you keep piling. And then it starts becoming overwhelming.
Right.
And this overwhelmed feeling continues for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it starts becoming problematic, because then two things. One is your body keeps getting those kind of chemicals so much it's not able to process it, and
Mm-hmm.
two, you get habituated to the stuckness. This overwhelming, and you're habituated in that to get keep getting that pumped up thing and all, and that
Right.
can sometimes create a belief that, like your friend says, stress लेते रहो, हमारे इसमें stress important है. But it's not just, there are ways to handle it and de-stress
Mm-hmm.
as well. You cannot have
Mm-hmm.
stress 24/7. Some
Absolutely.
situations you are aware stress hoga, and you have to start working on how to work that stress out. Not that stress
Mm-hmm.
hoga to le lo, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, I'm just giving you a very off the thing that's coming to my mind. Post marriage stress hoga to le lo. No,
Mm-hmm.
post marriage stress hoga. What are the aspects where can get stress? What can I do and how can I work it out, smoothen it, and move out in life? Because next time that situation happens, I know how to handle it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
some other situation I learn to handle it, right? That's how we keep opening stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give another example. Like, when we're hunters and gatherers, long, long, long eons ago, right? We would see a snake, we would see a lion, and we would want to fly. Flight, that is run. That's one way of handling stress. Other ways, when we see a snake, we kind of freeze, right? Because be motionless, the snake will go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There are other ways of handling it, fighting. So flight, fight, freeze is a typical method where animals and everyone,
Mm-hmm.
touch me not also freezes when we touch it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these are all methods of dealing with threat. If the threat is real, our reactions are real.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, in today's world, many of these threats are created
Mm-hmm.
or out of proportion, right? तो जब हमारा reactions build up होते हैं which is not proportionate to the reality, that is not a normal stress reaction. That is when we have to figure out what's really happening.
Right.
Or keeping piling and piling and piling. Stress normal, no. Then it becomes so much that we get stuck because the body kind of shuts down. Right? One. Second, also what happens is, you know, like for example, the child, when it's very small, right? Maybe when it wanted to give an exam, it was hurt very badly by parents or teachers or whatever due to the results, bad results, right? And it was so badly hurt, and at that time, usko cognitive ability bhi nahi hota hai, right? And it's so badly hurt that it feels as if it's going to die, literally. And
Right.
it doesn't know how to save itself, right? So it devises some mechanisms where it can save us. So maybe running away, flying away, running away from that scene, or shutting itself down, or crying and screaming, creating rants, some mechanisms, or maybe bodily mechanisms, like getting fever, जो later on teenage years में भी हो जाता है, right? Maybe that's the body's way of fighting immune system, right? Subtle way of fighting. So it devises certain patterns because of its beliefs कि ये अच्छी बात नहीं है, because it is not learned to handle and deal with that stress and challenge. And going forward, it will keep piling, and that is what it will keep creating. So later on in stages, when you, do not handle it well, you have different chemicals in the body which is generated, right? So there's the cortisol, which is called stress hormone.
Oh, right. I've heard about it a lot of times. That cortisol level. Right.
Yeah, and the poor thing is बहुत उसको बदनाम किया गया है. That cortisol chemical को बहुत बदनाम किया है. Cortisol is a very important chemical for your survival.
Oh.
It's because of that the lady took the action, right, in the cab.
Right.
It gives you adrenaline. It pumps your heart. It gives you adrenaline. It sweats. You're able, when you do all of that, when you run and all of that is generated, and that makes you alert and strong. So it's important chemical. But then when you overbuild it in the system, like for example, अगर insulin ज़्यादा होता है the system can't absorb. So तुम्हारे blood में insulin ज़्यादा हो गया. Now organs will start getting affected. Same thing will happen with cortisol. When it's too much of that, continuous non-stop stress लेना okay है हमारा field में लेते रहो. Then slowly it starts impacting your sleep, because cortisol all the time being there, it impacts your sleep, impacts your nervous system, it impacts your organs, it impacts your thyroid, because your body is fighting all the time. And how much can it fight, right? And that is where the panic attacks, all of that happens, right? And that's the answer to you when I say that to what extent it is normal and not normal. I would say the moment it feels overwhelming, you're not able to handle it. The moment you feel foggy headed, the moment you feel somewhere your capabilities question, like you can't think rationally, you can't, you stop being creative, you feel flooded, you can't do the same amount of work you used to do earlier. When all of those symptoms come, that is an information for you that your system is getting flooded, right? And that's when you start learning. So, I mean, I'm just taking it forward in the interest of time. I'm thinking the next question probably would be, so what's the damn solution for this?
So I just wanted to welcome all the new people here. Guys, we are talking about stress and abnormal stress right now. Ma'am has very well explained right now what is the difference between normal stress and abnormal stress. Now talking about cortisol and all this stress, I have started getting stressed out. So maybe we can go towards the solution part of it. How do you manage stress, and what is a good way of managing stress? And if you have any questions, please drop them down. Ma'am can help you with these questions right now live. You can also join us for this Insta live, and maybe we can help you out here. So anything is possible. Just the ma'am is here. Take up her time and try to get as many solutions as possible.
We can do that after the session as well. You have my Insta link now. You can always DM me. I would love to support people. Yeah. So Muskan, your stress was valid, and because see, you had a stress, you had some challenge, and that challenge was through some certain energy, and that is what we call it stress. The word stress is that energy, right? And you recognize that, and you wanted to take an action, and took an action asking me for a solution, right? So the moment you have that kind of correlation, I can sense
Mm-hmm.
my body, I can sense what's happening, I can sense
Mm-hmm.
my emotion, and I can feel the belief that yes, this is important. What can
Mm-hmm.
and I am capable of handling it. What can I do about it? When you see that, the whole connection. The next is the action. So when these three things happen, stress will be handled effectively. But when
Mm-hmm.
you do not accept it, you say that
Mm-hmm.
नहीं stress है normal है रहने दो. So a lot of people, because they're so scared in the childhood, they start dissociating themselves from feelings because feelings are scared. The storm, people don't want to stay in the storm, but the
Mm-hmm.
storm is going to give you the gift. There's no other way. Blank check I can sign for you and give. The only way to
Right.
handle your life is to look at within कि हो क्या रहा है. Nobody else. You look outside, you'd feel lot of storms.
Right.
But you can take an umbrella, you can handle the storm, right?
Right. I
But what's
in my
inside?
opinion, like since I have had a few therapy sessions, a few things that have helped me a lot has been maybe like meditation, journaling. My ma'am also has helped me with a lot of gratitude exercises. So these are things that I know from my limited experience. But ma'am, since you're here, I know there was this very interesting concept about which was called I owe me concept.
Yeah,
So maybe
yeah,
you can share that.
yeah. Can you share that on the screen? The image that I gave you. Is it possible?
I will. I will.
Yeah.
I'm not able to actually. Hi, Disha. Welcome. So I'm not able to get it popped up on the screen, but I can help you like this. So this
So,
is the.
yeah. So Muskan, is it possible? I don't know. I'm just asking this question. Identify who are the people who have attended the session. We can forward that to them. I mean, that
I
image
will
later on. We can
definitely.
show it
I
to
will be
them.
posting it on my story. This
Okay.
very interesting since six of you are here right now. I have please just wait for this very interesting concept called the ikigai. Ma'am will be I will be showing it on the screen also. So just to give you like a hint of what it is.
So
Um,
before ikigai, I would like to, because ikigai is the final understanding of from what I'm going to show
right,
is the concept of the storm, right? I don't know if you
right.
guys
I'm
can
just
see
going to
that.
give them a hint so that they can
Yeah,
wait for that concept.
yeah.
So they stick to the end. Right.
So this
So
is the image that Muskan will share in her story later on.
right.
You guys can
But
borrow
this
it
is
from
like
there.
the right.
Yeah, so this is a concept from the book that I've created called I of Me, which is I stands for inner experience. O is, I've said OWE, but O stands for outer experience, and M stands for being within me, mindfully managing it. So the only way to work this out is that have an inner experience, understand what's happening inside, and then you can change the outer reality. And that is,
Hmm.
we do the reverse, right? Like your question about expectations from your parents about what the career path after law, watching other students, other engineers, etc., pass out and get a great IT 20 lakhs job and figure out what the fuck am I going to do in life. You're
Right.
again going outside in. You're going outside
Hmm.
in. You never get an answer there, right?
Right.
You never know what stress that fellow is going through,
Hmm.
right? You're only looking from the outside. गुलाब जामुन अच्छा दिख रहा है लेकिन अंदर पका हुआ है कि नहीं हमको नहीं मालूम है कि नहीं?
Right.
So
Hmm.
we have to see what is there inside of me, and that is what the storm approach talks to you about, the whole approach. And
Hmm.
similarly, what Ikegai Muskan is talking about is also about the four factors. What is that I love doing? What is that I just, मतलब रात के 3 बजे, my son when he asked me in 11th standard, I told him, what is that at 3 o'clock in the night you will still do? What is that I
Hmm.
enjoy most? Make a huge
Wow.
list of that, right?
Hmm.
What is that I'm good at? What is that I am adept at? Like, for example, it could be music, it could be listening to people, it could be writing. What are the different things that you are good at? You've always been, you've always known, people have told you. Make a huge list of that, right? Uh,
Hmm.
what is that people will pay you for example? क्या
Hmm.
सर्विसेज करने से लोग आपको पेमेंट देते हैं? Look at
Hmm.
those factors, right?
Hmm.
And there's one more factor. I think it's also about what is your passion and all of those things.
The
Muskan will share this link. You
the world
actually,
needs us.
yeah, what does the world need in this? Like, for
Mm.
example, for me, my passion is about, being there for people. My passion is about, serving people. I'm also a person who likes to move things around. I'm very good at listening, observing. I'm very imaginative, creative, and all of those aspects. At the same time, what the world wants from me also is about healing, and the world really, really needs it, right? So,
Mm.
what will people pay me for as well? So those are the
Mm.
things that come. And what is that? Like if you do a Venn diagram, what is
Mm.
that two or three things which has all those four,
Oh,
for
right.
example, right? So that could be
Mm.
something that you can take up as your career.
Right.
So that's an easy way of saying it.
Oh,
Another way,
interesting.
Muskan, I was talking to you about the strong inventory.
Right,
It is
right,
part of, yeah, it is Anahat is the, I can send the link later on. Is if you just
right.
Google search anahat.in, you will get that strong, and it's a very, very popular inventory. And
Right.
when I did that, I was surprised the 20-year-old who showed up there,
Mm.
and I was like, I wish somebody had told me when I was 2025. Uh,
Right.
so, a lot of
We
these
have
things. So,
We have another participant who has joined in. Hi, Sukhvinder. So, just to reiterate the point before we go on to the next point, I think ma'am wanted me to show the picture, but since we are not able to show the picture right now, so there are four. So, let's say if you wanted to find a good career for yourself, something that you believe that you belong in, and something that you think that you can make it good in life, there are four lists maybe that you can make. The first list of things that you love to do, right? That will be your first list. Your second list would be about things that you're great at. Maybe it could be for me, I'm great at communication. Maybe I'm great at some particular skills, which is art, creative arts, things like that, right? So then the third list would be uh, things that you can be paid for, things that you can maybe monetize. And the fourth list is the things that maybe you can help the world with. So when you filter these down, when you make like a Venn diagram, and you see what is one common thing in all four of these lists. And once you figure that out, you can maybe choose that career or some alternative of that career, particularly. So this is a great tool that ma'am has shared right now. I will be sharing this picture on my story, so please follow us, ma'am and I, both
so,
of us, and we will be sharing it on our story.
so Muskan,
So it's a great.
just to summarize, you talked about the tools at the same time going a little backwards. Just to
Right.
summarize about the anxiety is the major part of the anxiety, one of the major part of the anxiety is about the inaction,
Okay.
right? The stuckness
Mm,
and inaction leads, it's like a chicken or an egg. It leads to more anxiety, right?
mm,
And the reason for the stuckness was also that we see the goal, we know probably what to do, or we see the threat,
mm,
we see all of those things, but we don't know what to do because we are in the freeze mode or we are flight
mm,
mode, or we are acting irrationally. We are stuck there, right? And that
mm,
is where the anxiety builds. So, very important solution. Just note it down for all those new ones, the younger ones. The very important step is to first identify what are the issue, what are the stressors, what is that which is causing you
mm,
stress. Second is to identify triggers. क्या reasons क्या है वो आपको stress के? What are the reasons that is stressing you up? Right?
mm,
It's making you blowing out of proportion. क्यों हो रहा है वैसे? Right? उसमें
mm,
internal reason है कि मैं बाहर की देख रही हूँ. Try to understand that part. The key is not about sorting or controlling outside factor. It is about
mm.
inner clarity. Why am I doing this? What is happening and how do I go about it?
Right.
So go for the inside out approach and not the outside out. And
Mm,
don't run away from this storm. Stay with it. The more you stay with it, the more answers you'll get. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
yeah. So,
You have such a calm voice, ma'am. It really, when you're explaining things, it really feels like I am getting counseled personally. So this is one of the very good things about you. Whenever I hear you talk, it feels like knots are getting opened up in my brain, and I'm learning more things. I'm getting. Oh, so we have a question right now. Sorry. So this is
yeah.
by Kanika. She's asking us, how do we manage the negative feeling at workplace?
Yes. So, Kanika, I mean, we can have a one to one. I mean, if you want more, but here what I can say is asking you just questions like a coach. I'm asking you questions. What is this negative feeling at workplace about? Right? You can type it also if you want. What is this negative feeling? So first is connect to that feeling. Put words to that feeling. Don't say negative. What is that feeling? What is that emotion? Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it fear? Is it what is it? Figure out what that feeling is, what that emotion is. Is it jealousy? Is it overwhelm? Yeah, what is that is happening? Because that identification is very important. Then I will say that next is to honor yourself and say that, okay, this is there. This is part of me. I don't want to feel ashamed about it. I don't want to feel irritated about it, or I don't want to fear my fear, right? If I
Ma'am,
can say, oh, this is my part.
she has put her further comment. She says that about me not able to achieve my goal or feeling low of not doing something as other people are doing.
Yeah. So now when you, again, beautiful Kanika, this is exactly what I say, trying to identify the exact word. When you say feeling low means what? The real word is feeling sad,
Mm,
right?
right.
So, you know, try to be as close to the feeling as possible. So when you say feeling low, bolo, kya hai, name it. The moment you name it na,
Mm.
wahi pe aapko relief hoga. You feel like crying, right? But when you say I'm feeling low, you don't feel like crying, do you? Right? So we try to detach from these feelings because it makes us survive. But the point is, it's okay. It's okay to feel that crashing as of now, because from that crash you'll get the answer. Ki, why am I crashing?
Right. Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So the feeling sad, Kanika, you said, is about what? Like, मैं यहीं पे हूँ, वो लोग वहां पर हैं, बराबर? Okay.
Mm.
So then you tell your part that thank you for letting me know. Thank you for making me aware of the sadness. Because only then I will know that I need to be happy. Right? It
Absolutely.
is a
Right.
part of Kanika which is not feeling good about it. It is feeling sad
Right.
for Kanika.
Right.
But there are other beautiful
Um,
parts in Kanika which know what will make her happy.
so
So you'll
she
have
has
to tap into those
she has
parts.
put
Yeah.
a yes. She has put a yes in the comments, and she's very happy
Kanika,
about the answer, I
so
think.
let's use Kanika here. So Kanika, acknowledge, have gratitude for that beautiful part, and ask that part, why are you feeling sad for me? It told you. The others are doing this. Okay. So fine. So what do you think? So then tap in. Thank you so much for bringing that awareness. Tap to another part of you. Look at
Mm.
feel that. What is makes you happy, Kanika? What are the things that you really want to achieve that you're holding out, like you're not mentioning for whatever reasons?
Mm.
Sometimes we don't want to say it because we are like, really, can I do that? Am
Right.
I setting up myself for too much expectation? वो भी एक storm है ना. If I admit, then I have to achieve that. That
Ma'am, we
also
have
could be a
a
reason.
few more. Ma'am, we have a few more questions. Maybe you can wrap this on up, and we can take a few more questions.
Yeah.
Uh,
So somebody said I've
so
already posted something, but I can't see it.
right. Ankit Shukla is saying, I will be checking out your question. I think it is in the question section. A second question is by Piyush. He is asking, ma'am, can you please tell few meditation techniques to control slash manage stress?
All right. So just Piyush, just to so that I bring in everyone and I don't miss this particular point later.
Right.
Muskan had mentioned some of the tools that just random that's coming to me right now is like sit with that honoring yourself. So one of the meditation process is also to a gratitude exercise, right? So every
Mm-hmm.
night before you go to sleep, you can do a gratitude exercise. Just breathe in, breathe out, right? The moment you breathe in and breathe out, you're giving oxygen to yourself and your brain, right? A lot of serotonin happens through oxygen itself. So your cortisol will come down because of that itself. So
Right.
breathe in, come, breathe out. Get in touch with your body.
Mm-hmm.
Every part of your body, sit with it. There could be a little discomfort. The back may be hurting. Say it's okay. Thank you for bringing me notice. I will take care of you. As of just stay with all of those parts of your body, being aware of the life within you and
Right.
honoring that. Okay, and then look. visualize everything in your mind as to what all happened throughout the day and what that you're grateful for. What are the really good stuff? From the fact that you're able to breathe is a gratitude, right? I mean, there are so many people, even in your own profession, who are finding it so difficult in life, right? The fact that you are not in that space itself is a gratitude. So make a list of, first of all, gratitude, and then sit in that meditative space and imagine all of those moments. Have gratitude for that part. Feel that gratitude. That itself is one form of meditation,
Mhm.
right? And then we can sit sometimes when we have a very stormy feeling, like Kanika was talking about. You
Mhm.
can actually, that's another way of meditating. What is meditating? Meditating is going inside, right? And
Mhm.
either coming from an empty space where you just stay with yourself. It's called solitude. By the way, it's not loneliness. Sukhwinder, who is here, one of the participants, I don't know whether she's there right now. She's the one of the people I look up to, and she had made me aware that solitude and loneliness are two different things.
Mhm. Right.
And meditation teaches you to have be with yourself. You know, this world where every social media you need to be with people and all that, it's tiring you. You don't realize it. You're doing outside
Right.
in, you're not doing inside out.
Mhm.
So meditating, Piyush, is one of the things. Just sit. You don't have to think. Thoughts aane do.
Right.
Enjoying being with myself, right?
Mhm.
And in different ways. Like one of the ways I told you earlier. The other way, like Kanika, when you're feeling those feelings, just stay with those feelings. You know how baby does, right? Small little baby just stays with its feelings.
Right.
Do that. You stop doing that. So
Mhm.
stay with that feeling, and it'll give you a beautiful answers. Your body. So those are
Ma'am, sorry,
different. Yeah.
we have to we have to take two more questions, please. I think people are getting very impatient in the comment section.
Yeah.
So just moving on a bit. Sorry to interrupt you. So one question that we have by Ankit, which I found in the comment in the questions section, is that how do you have a great sense of control? Not really be influenced by the overwhelming or ambiguous feedback in this competitive environment and not overthink to a level that affects your performance? That's a very good question and very well put, Ankit.
So it's a very good question, yet the answer may have to be very elaborate. I'm not sure how much justice I can do in this time. There is also, मैंने आपको flight, freeze, and fight, three modes of handling stress बोला था ना? There is
Right.
one more new one which is fawn, FAWN. Like, you know
Oh,
how
I
the
heard
deer,
about it. Right.
yeah, the shy this thing. So that is
Mhm.
also a pattern that is created. It's basically about people pleasing, trying to be nice, all of those things, right? So one of the things that when we grow up, we learn is that, you know, if we gel with others, if we belong with the others, we feel better,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
We That's where we sometimes, when we overdo that, we lose out our own individuality. I am
Mhm.
unique. I have a different, unique combination of DNA. My parents and my mother, my father, my brother had. I will have a different, unique one, right?
Mhm.
So what happens is, doing stuff that others expect you to do is called outside in. Again, I'm going back to the same story.
Mhm.
It's outside in. You have to do inside out. You have to do an ikigai, you have to do meditation, you have to do a lot. You read a lot of self-help books. If you do not want to spend money, share with your friends and do. There's a lot of learning that you can do as to how do I tap about myself? How do I look
Mhm.
deep into myself and bring that out rather than take what others are asking me to take?
Mhm.
That's the first step in the small time of frame that I have is it is again look within. The storm, your stress, the fact, I don't remember, Puneet, you said, right? The fact that it is causing, see, if it's something that you want to do, it should not cause you stress. But the fact
Mhm.
that it's causing you stress means there is something that अंदर से चाहते हो नहीं आ रहा है. That is
Mhm.
not getting clarity. So
Mhm.
आप meditation करो, counseling करो, self help पढ़ो, use tools. One of the beautiful tools, by the way, is journaling. Right, right,
Absolutely.
right. Things, when it comes out, you'll automatically feel better. And many times when you read it, you're like, hey, this is not real, right?
Right.
Journaling helps. The
Right.
gratitude exercise, meditation, all of these things are very, very important.
Ma'am, that was Ankit's question, but I think a lot of us can relate exactly to that feeling of being in a competitive environment. Guys, a lot of your questions I know have been answered re as relative to the time constraint that we have right now. But I would encourage all of you to drop your questions, drop your queries to ma'am's profile. Go and talk to her. She is very nice. Personally, I'm telling you without any bias. She is very nice. She can help you out with your questions. And maybe like since we are almost towards the end of the session here, uh, maybe we can talk about your book a little bit because maybe like reading your book exactly, ma'am, because you described a storm as something maybe which is inside and not outside. I would like to tell all of you here a little bit of what I got from the book, which was that so this book called The Secret Gifts from the Perfect Storm for all the people. Oh, Ankit Shukla is saying, thank you so much, Law Gears and ma'am, for this platform and addressing my question. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
So,
Just, Muskan, one thing I want to say before if somebody moves out. We had discussed this earlier. Because of the time constraint,
mhm,
uh, we have ready to offer two ways of extending this information is maybe we can have a 40 minutes free visualization session where I can actually make them do the visualization activity for self and their needs and their feelings so they know how to do it. We can also do I talked about strong inventory, which costs around 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. It's a
mhm,
very, very good inventory that by a reliable source.
mhm.
And I can do, if 10 or 15 of you do that inventory, I can do a 2 hour session free of it for you to be able to interpret the report for yourself and your career path ahead. So we
Wow,
can do that as well, just so that we don't miss out. Yeah. Yeah. So
right.
Muskan, you're
That's
talking. I'm sorry for interrupting. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's all right. Because I think that we need to shut this down because people know that they have issues, they've gotten the tools for it. But just for all the book readers out there, this is my personal recommendation. And I invited her because she is somebody, she authored this book, but she also basically, I think took out some issues that all of us face and are very common in all of us. So let me go through the name of the book. It's called The Secret Gifts from the Perfect Storm: The Path to Positivity Through Negative Experiences. Um, what is very exciting for me is that this is the story of Anita and the storm she encounters through the losses, the shaming, as well as the self-esteem depleting thoughts instilled through life's twists and turns, which are relatable to most readers, right? So I think it talks about not shrugging your feelings under the rug. It talks about different concepts, which is obviously very helpful for me, which is about creating boundaries with people. It also has a lot of like deep, insightful poems and the concept that she talked about right now, which is the IOU concept, which is in detail there, which is to understand the inner self, accepting our gifts as well as our limitations, and growing each day to become our highest potential. Oh, I think just talking about the book here, it is honestly a great book, and it is something that once you once you read it, it feels like something that you really need to possess. I'm barely able to get words for it because it really leaves you like that. Because this book gives you like a tool book. It's like a
Yeah.
toolbox which can help you navigate yourself through
Right.
life,
So
and
I'll
that
be
goes
very
from
honest. I'll be very honest. I was not able to give a full-fledged tool because it probably needs 1,000 pages for it. But it does give you. Somebody was asking me in the meditation process, how do I, Kanika? How do I, listen to my different parts? It gives you the whole process there. Yeah.
Right. So it's basically as ma'am also said it, it might not it really helps all of us because we are all in different parts of our life right now. I am a 50-year law student. There might be some other people who are doing other things, but it relates so well to being a human and what it is like to have a human experience and how to deal with a few things which are common to all of us. So all ages, all different spheres of life. It really works for all of us. So since we are talking about the book, ma'am, is it possible for you to show me a copy and show us the copy of the book?
Can you? I'm just showing that to. I think both of us can't see each other, but I'm on
Right.
the screen. I'm showing that to book to them. It's
Got
available
it.
on Amazon, and it has won the best storytelling award by Sancheti Healthcare Academy, which is one of the very well-known healthcare institutes in the
Right.
category of art therapy. So
Wow.
I'm very stoked with that.
Mhm.
So my objective for the book was, like I told in the beginning, that and it is a lot of people who have read it has given me that feedback that we were able to connect to our lives. So people have got flashbacks and all that. And there are a lot of people who have not been able to complete it because they have had to pause. And but that was my intent. So I don't take it as a negative feedback. My intent was for you to connect and feel the storm. And a lot
Right.
of people have felt it. So we
Uh,
psychologists sometimes are very sadists. We like that because
uh,
that means that you took something inside, right? And that's very important for me. Yeah.
we have just one question. I think right. So Ankit is back and he has one last question. For sure, Ankit, we can address it. Please go ahead and type down your question. You can do it in the comments box.
Yeah. So
We have just about reached our time to close this, and we are waiting for your question, Ankit. After that, we'll be closing this. If there are any, since he's typing it right now, ma'am, do you have any last remarks for this program? And
yes, my last remark would be love yourself first, right? When I say love yourself, talk to that inner part of it. You're not stupid. You're not, psychic if you talk to your parts. In fact, through therapy, we make you talk to your parts. So love yourself, love all your parts, broken, not broken. They are together one full part, right? And these parts will give you a lot of information. So first, for all those people who talked about how to handle stress, how to handle external pressures will remain till you die. Even at the age of
mm,
70, you will have external pressures. Okay? Uh,
right.
what is important is to handle the inner pressures. So talk to yourself, automatically the outer pressures will go. So love yourself, do a lot of these gratitude exercises, indulge in activities in your stressful career, create windows every day or every weekend for something you love doing. You make that a
Mm,
habit and you will start enjoying life, right?
mm,
So it can be anything. It can be going outside, it could be music, it could be art, it could be just enjoying yourself, dancing, it could be
mm.
anything, beautifully. And you should feel satiated, like you have an ice cream and you're like, ah, you feel right. That's how you're supposed to feel every week.
Oh,
Yourself.
wow. Very well described. That feeling exactly, I think all of us can relate. But
Yeah.
that feeling comes seldom. But
So
it
you have to
really
make it
is
a
something which is
practice.
very
Like how
fulfilling.
meditation, yeah, like how meditation becomes a practice. Similarly, इसको भी practice बनाना है आपको. You have to make it a practice so that everything else becomes less impactful and all that love becomes more impactful. It takes 40, 50 days for your brain to rewire. So you have to practice.